Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. The Vanguard update, the Pacific update for Warzone, is just a couple of days away at this point, and it's introducing a ton of stuff to the game. The new maps, the new operators, the new weapons, and something else that we've never seen before in Warzone history, an engine update, which actually is going to end up changing quite a few things, both in terms of gameplay, in terms of actual mechanics, and much more. Lots of really cool things are going to stem from this individual engine updates. So basically today, I wanted to go over everything we know about the engine update and everything we can also assume that'll be coming alongside this engine update as well. So as we go through it all, if you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. It would be seriously appreciated. And of course, if you're new to the channel, or if you happen to be a part of the 58% of viewers who have not already subscribed, we are on the road to 800,000 subs. And each and every day, I am always covering everything going on in COD, between the latest news, updates, leaks, class setups, tips. It's all right here. So feel free to subscribe. That way you can always stay up to date. Also, if you're looking to grab any G Fuel in time for the Pacific updates or just for the holidays, gotta say, G Fuel tubs, shaker cups, perfect stocking stuffers. As always, Code Immortal has you covered there with anywhere between that 10 and 30% off discount. Link to that'll be down in the description below. Now, when it comes to this engine update, like I said, this is the first of its kind for Warzone. Ever since, March 2020 when Warzone dropped, we've never seen the engine change, despite receiving a new map with Rebirth Island, a sort of ish new map with Verdansk 84, and even the whole Cold War integration. It's still been on the same sort of hybrid Modern Warfare / Warzone engine that we've had since launch. However, it is all about to change once the Vanguard and the Pacific update takes place, because we're going to be shifting to the Vanguard engine. This will be the first time that a premium multiplayer title and Warzone share the exact same engine, and with that, a lot of things are going to be changing. So let's go over everything that is presumed with this engine change and everything that is also confirmed. I know for a fact the single biggest question everyone has when it comes to this engine update is, will it update an FOV slider on console? Because obviously you look at Vanguard, and on PlayStation 4, on PlayStation 5, on Xbox One, and on Xbox Series X and S, there is a console FOV slider. You can go all the way up to 120 FOV if you want, and you can also play on independent or affected FOV for your ADS, which is incredibly beneficial as well. Whereas in Warzone, it is only PC that has the FOV options, which is an extreme advantage to have specifically for PC players. However, as of this point in time when I'm recording this video, Call of Duty, Raven, Sledgehammer, no one has confirmed if Warzone will be getting a console FOV slider with this engine update. But that said, because the Vanguard engine on Vanguard multiplayer has an FOV slider, it would make a lot of sense that if Warzone is on the same Vanguard engine, it would also have an FOV slider. It'd be very surprising if an FOV slider for console is not included in this engine update. Like, if this is happening and if Warzone is going to see a console FOV slider, it would be with this update. Like, there is no better time for this to be implemented as a new feature than right now alongside the Pacific update and the engine upgrade. So if it's happening with this update, safe to say. To also sort of add on to that, there's no guarantee that last gen consoles could actually end up seeing this. Even if we do see this engine upgrade include a console FOV slider, it's not guaranteed that PS4 and an Xbox One could have these, because let's face it, this is 7-year-old, 8-year-old tech at this point. They're not building games for old tech. They're building games for the future, for the new consoles, for PC, and what's to come in, future years. They're not dedicating, bunch of space and a bunch of effort to building games for old platforms, despite them being still very popular, right? But another sort of thing that could happen with this engine update is Warzone getting its own separate individual application. As we all know, ever since Warzone launched, it's been tethered to the Modern Warfare application, both on PC, on BNet, and then also on all consoles. You have to have Modern Warfare downloaded, and then you go in and you can launch Warzone and play Warzone through that. But if we're upgrading the engine here, it would also make a lot of sense to see Warzone get its own separate application. There's been a lot of rumors about this. It, again, has not been officially confirmed from Activision or from Call of Duty yet, but if there's a time, just like with the FOV slider, it would be now. And if that does end up being the case, I could also see it happening where PS5 and Xbox Series X and S get their own dedicated PS5 and Xbox Series X versions of Warzone, and that includes a console FOV slider, whereas the standard PS4 version and Xbox One version of Warzone even has its own separate application, does not end up saying that, just because the hardware is not super capable of handling that. Now, as for what that means for Modern Warfare, if we do end up seeing a separate application introduced for Warzone, That we're not too sure of. I feel like it would be very weird if they made Warzone its own application and then made everyone re-download Warzone, because that's just not going to be a good business move. That's not a smart business decision, right? I feel like the smarter way to go about things would be to keep Warzone on the application it's on now, but remove Modern Warfare and have people re-download that if they want to go back and play an old Call of Duty. That to me makes the most sense. For that though, we are going to have to wait and see. Moving on. Another thing, that's almost a pun. You'll see why here in a few seconds. Moving on, another thing that could be changing with this engine update is the movement, hence moving on being a pun. Thank you, Zach, for explaining it. So the movement system that we have now is very smooth. It's very fluid. I like it a lot. The B hops, the slide canceling, everything like that. Vanguard's movement is very similar to what we have in Warzone right now, but it is not the same. It is not a one-to-one at all. Close, but you know, it's like, hey, copy my homework but change it a little bit, right? In Vanguard, B hopping is way easier, much more I guess open area to time that correctly and hit a nasty B hop and get that extra movement, right? Slide canceling is also a little bit different with tac sprint. It takes 2 slide cancels to reset your tac sprint as opposed to 1 in Warzone. So while things pretty much feel the same, there are a few discrepancies here and there with the movement, and that is another potential thing that could be changing with this engine update. Again, we're gonna have to wait and see. Now, as for the 100% confirmations with the engine update, we do have a couple of different things to cover here. First up, optimization. This is a very basic one. This is a newer and more futuristic engine than the Modern Warfare engine and the Warzone engine, hence the game is going to feel better. You're gonna get better frames. Also, you gotta take into consideration we're not gonna have, you know, downtown on the map, which has 10, 20-story buildings that you can climb to that your system has to render out and, you know, just destroy your frames. It's going to be a smoother map, I feel like, for frames, but also the engine itself is going to be more optimized for all platforms for what it's worth, but especially on PC where you're getting those higher frame counts. It'll be a lot more noticeable in Warzone Pacific than just basic Warzone. Another thing that is also coming with this engine update that they've touched on multiple times is that map destruction, the levolution, if you will, I think is what it was deemed back in like the Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4 days, whatever the case may be. The map is going to be interactable, destroyable. A lot of destruction is going to be featured on Caldera, just like in Vanguard multiplayer where you have all these different walls that you can destroy, different barriers, different doors, all sorts of stuff like that you can blow off the hinges or blast through and make a new line of sight. The same sort of thing is going to be applicable on Caldera, where you can go through and break open walls where players might be camping inside of. To me, I'm very curious to see if this is going to be a good or a bad thing. I feel like in some cases it's good because it's going to deter camping a little bit. Like if you can have the building that you're sitting in destroyed and a bunch of the walls blown open and you know, have massive holes now looking into there, exposing your camping spot, you're not going to be as inclined to camp in that spot, right? But at the same time, if I'm trying to, you know, res a teammate inside and I think I'm in cover, then somebody can just take a DP-27 or an MG-42 and blast through the entire building. That's not going to be super ideal. So I'm very curious to see if this is done well or if it's a little bit broken and messy, but map destruction is going to be another big thing that the engine update brings to Warzone. So with all that being said, that is effectively everything we know about the engine update, what we can assume should be coming with it based off of what's in Vanguard already, then also what has been confirmed for the engine update as well. That's going to do it for today. If you enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. Would be seriously appreciated. It does really help grow the channel. And of course, if you're new here or if you have not already subscribed, this is the best place to be for everything going on in COD, news, updates, class setups, tips. It is all right here each and every single day. So feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on. That way you'll always know whenever I post a new video. As always, if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code WhosImmortal for a discount on all Scuff, G Fuel, Gamer Advantage, and Control Freak products. And the links for all those can be found down in the description below. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.